Welcome back to episode 6 of On the Rocks.
Is it 6?
What's after 5?
6.
6? Yeah, so 6.
You're the teacher.
Not the math teacher. Episode 6. We've been on a little hiatus there. Been pretty busy.
Someone had a kid, so.
Well, yeah, but we've done one since that.
Well, yeah, but.
That other thing.
Yeah.
We had another thing.
There's been things.
Yeah, there's been other things going on.
We had to do our fantasy football drafts.
Fantasy, well, you guys went to, you and your group went to Nashville, right?
I blacked out the whole time, but I think we were in Nashville.
So you could have been anywhere.
We could have been in Cuba.
Could have been in South Africa.
There could have been an Armageddon. I have no idea.
Yeah.
There was no sharks.
No sharks.
No.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure South Africa is like the shark.
Oh, it's home of the sharks.
Isn't it like the shark attack capital of the world?
I believe so. A lot of great whites. That or Australia.
I think it's like.
It's up. No, like the dead. I think like
It's
the
like the
deadliest
place.
place. So I think it's like great whites and like.
Coincidence that the only place in Africa where white people are also home of the great whites?
Could be.
Is that a weird
Could be a correlation. I think it's weird that people are shocked when people get attacked by sharks in water.
Dude, if you go to like my brother had a wedding in Cape Cod and they were like, hey, whatever you do, don't get in the water or you'll die.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that like Massachusetts was like that.
Like, why are we so shocked though?
I was like, by the way, the water's 10 degrees, I'm not going to get in.
Yeah.
But if you did, death.
Sharks live in water.
Did we? This is not related to sharks. Did we talk about lobster rolls when we did the sandwich episode?
Yeah.
We did?
Yeah. Overrated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Sharks. Watch Shark Week.
Yeah.
Let me write
And
that down
mermaids.
because when we do, that just made me think something. We need to do it top overrated things.
That's a good one.
Shark Week might be number 1.
It's all fake.
It's
Ever
all-
since that mermaid thing came out that was not real. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The Discovery Channel had like this crazy hour-and-a-half long documentary on mermaids and like how mermaids are real.
And then at the end they're like, oh, by the way.
No, they still, it was like a true thing. The whole thing was true.
Really?
It came out like a year later that like it was all made up.
I can see that.
I watched it live because I was pumped for it. And I was like, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen.
And then it just came out that it was a lie.
It's just not real.
Well, my favorite is Shark Week. Oh, Megalodon. Are we going to find it? No. They never find it. It's like the Bigfoot thing.
It's like hunting Bigfoot.
There's like 100 shows on, oh, we think we got him. No, it's not.
There's a
It's
Squatch.
not. Squatch.
Well, you know, Mitch Hedberg said maybe Bigfoot's just blurry.
Yeah. That guy's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a funny guy. He does say that. I think he's just blurry. He had a
That's
very
what all the photos look like.
interesting. I think Bigfoot might be the most believable conspiracy though.
Well,
Of all of them, I mean,
other than Epstein.
And
Is
9/11.
Bigfoot a conspiracy, or do you mean like mythical creatures?
Okay, maybe we
Because I would
let's
say
separate that.
Unicorns are the most believable. They're just a horse with a horn.
Yeah, but how many horses with horns have you seen?
How many Bigfoots have you seen?
On mine.
I will say,
When have you ever seen a unicorn?
well, what you haven't seen any mythical, like what is a chupacabra? What even is that?
I think it's just like a cat.
It's like a Mexican thing. It's
Yeah.
like a pissed off.
Cat. It's like a
You know those Egyptian cats that don't have no hair?
sphinx.
Those things are disgusting.
Ugly.
I think a
So-
chupacabra is like one of those.
I think
But
you're wrong on that one. But
We need to ask a Hispanic.
yeah. Chupacabra. Yeah, that's a.
Speaking of conspiracy theories and football,
And football.
you have one, don't you? Don't you have a?
Oh, well, if we're gonna get right into football
I mean, what else is there?
and conspiracy, yeah. Hey, football's back. We haven't talked since
Since football.
football has begun.
Which is definitely why it's been like 2 or 3 weeks. since we've
Yeah,
done it.
we had to give it some. We had to wait for something to come up,
Yeah.
and we're better than
College football's back, so Saturdays I'm busy.
college football over NFL.
I'm a college guy.
I'm a college.
Except everything about college, I think, is better. But the games are on Saturdays the whole year. And then it's time for the championship, and it's Monday night at like 9 p.m.
Yes.
They can't figure that one out.
The late start time, we have to always look out for the West Coast, right?
Sure.
Like I think the NCAA basketball championship, that game starts at like 9:30.
Yeah.
Like, do we
I mean, it's fine with our, but it's because they do it on a work day.
right.
So if you do it on a Saturday, it can be at 7 p.m. or even 9 p.m. because most of the country's off the next day.
Yeah.
But you do it on
And
Monday night.
whose idea was that?
I think it's because the NFL playoffs are going on. Because the NFL does playoffs on Saturday and Sunday. But like college football should get dibs on Saturdays. Or
Yes.
just do a 1 p.m. and a 4 p.m. Saturday football game. And then do the fucking college championship at 8. There's 8 billion different better things they could do.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's like, I get it's Super Bowl Sunday, but let's figure out a way to maybe Monday be a holiday or something.
I have an idea.
Yeah, from the guy who probably won't get in.
I have an idea.
Okay.
First, I'm going to ask a question. What is President's Day? What is it supposed to be?
A day that we get off school. It's the only
Exactly.
purpose. So let's make it.
President's Day is the day after. It's the week after the Super Bowl. It's the
So
following.
let's just bump it up.
Exactly.
That's logical.
Nobody is. Are you celebrating the previous presidents or are you celebrating the current one? Because either way, we hate 50% of them.
I would say more than that.
Like everybody, if you're a Republican, you hate Democrats. If you're a Democrat, you hate Republicans.
Yeah.
So you're.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The holidays to celebrate the half that you agree with.
If Biden were to somehow figure this out,
Oh,
we can forgive him for everything
He's
else.
got my vote.
He's got the vote.
Just move President's Day up,
Yeah. I mean, maybe we email him.
and then I solved all of it.
Somebody could definitely probably pull a fast one on him and just be like, hey, sign this real quick. We're going to make blah, blah, blah.
Right.
He don't know what he's doing anyways.
This is to make pet chimpanzees legal.
Legal.
Are they legal or are they illegal?
I would hope not. Those things are, dude, monkeys are vicious.
I feel like I've heard a story about that.
They will kill you.
They start with the limbs.
They rip your limbs off.
But they start with like your fingers and work their way in. It's like diabetes,
Right.
but quicker.
But maybe a quicker death. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that took a turn for the worse. Where were we at? We're talking about, oh, football.
Bigfoot.
A Bigfoot. There used to be, so I think Bigfoot's most believable because, I told you about this, there used to be like a ancient ape that was like 8 feet tall. What was it called? Giganta or something? I'm showing you pictures of it.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's
I know
like
what
a
you're talking
giant
about.
ape and it looks kind of like a Bigfoot. And it's just, it's called a Gigantopithecus or something. Something like that. It's not a dinosaur. Like
No, you showed it to
I'll
me.
show you, and it looked like, oh, that's Bigfoot.
Yeah.
They stand on the leg. They're
That thing had to
massive.
fight Titanoboa.
I'm glad that thing is not alive. But I would guarantee, like, how much is of the Amazon has been discovered? Like 10%.
Oh, is it really that low?
It might even be less.
Really?
It's low. Of the Amazon,
Is it? I don't.
it is a low number that's been actually like discovered by people.
Okay, so we've discovered like 1% of the ocean,
5% of the ocean,
10% of the Amazon,
something like that.
like 0.0001% of space.
But I feel
So
like,
what were all those dudes in the 1700s doing?
I don't know.
They found North America, just stopped.
And just stop. The fact that I feel like we know more about space than the ocean.
I feel like there was like 3 years of school where they just talked about explorers,
Yeah.
and now there's
Yeah. They talked about quicksand more. I feel like that was going to be an issue. More of a modern day
quicksand
issue.
and stop, drop, and roll
Yeah.
have never really been relevant.
Not until now. Set us on fire.
Set quicksand on fire.
we wouldn't make, I don't know if we'd make it out.
No, you have a. But are you referring to Bigfoot as a conspiracy theory?
No, not, sorry. No, well, let's put that in the mythical creature category by itself.
Right. Mythical
'Cause,
creatures
like, what
as
would-
a whole are conspiracy.
Because conspiracies, there's always a reason behind it. Like,
Yeah.
so what would be the reason, oh, we can't let
Except Flirth.
the flatter? Yeah, that's
There's no reason to Flirth.
my only thought. Now, you know I don't believe this, but I like it.
Yeah, you're a fan.
I'm a fan of it. I don't believe it. The flat Earth thing. The only thing I can think of is that the government's always been trying to program us. I guess now we're getting into it. Tinfoil hat. But like, what's one of the first things you learn in school? The Earth is round.
Right.
So like, what if they're like, okay, let's see if we can fool everybody right away,
Just to prove a point.
just to prove the point that we can actually get people to think what we think.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, we could get into some.
But you could say that about like any conspiracy theory.
You could.
You know.
I guess you could. You could say it about anything.
But yeah, that's the only reason. That's the only way it makes sense.
Yeah. But you can't. What?
Well, flirters think that there's an ice wall.
It's-
Like if you go far enough, there's just
Yeah.
it's like Game of Thrones.
The Antarctica thing is pretty.
Like that it exists.
That there's something either there or either we know about it or
Well, there's like military bases in Antarctica.
there's right, but why?
I don't know.
Like, what's the purpose of that?
I bet you get paid so much money to go there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's like 4 degrees.
The Anthony Bourdain went there on No Reservations.
Did he?
Yeah.
There was a general, oh man, there was a general that like flew over it years ago, and when he came back, he was telling them of all this stuff that he said. Something Bird or something, his name?
I'm pretty
Never
sure
mind.
Hitler had a plan to like weaponize Antarctica and never got there.
Well, they say they're doing like heart testing out there, like
Heart?
heart,
To,
HA,
like, control
like
the-
yeah, the weather stuff. People are all over the weather thing, like especially with the Maui thing that just went on. A lot of sketchy shit with Maui.
Like with the fires?
Yeah. Like the way they the way that they like handled that situation was awful.
Well, that
And then they're saying
there's a
they're
lot
like,
of rich people out there, so like I'm sure that
yeah, but none of their houses got touched.
just the poor people.
There was, I wouldn't say poor because I feel like if you live in Hawaii, you're not poor. But no, not the rich. You know, Oprah has a house. Everybody's got a house there.
Yeah,
Didn't
I
get
have
touched.
a fucking house in Maui.
So like the thing is that they said, oh, this was planned, and they're gonna buy up the land
And put up more.
yeah, to make money off it. Like,
Yeah. Also, like
which I hope is not true.
I would believe that Oprah has an entire private firefighter department on payroll. Like
Probably.
she was worth like $80 billion.
Well, there's a rumor, something about like blue paint, like things that were blue didn't catch on fire. Did you see that? There's a lot of crazy.
I didn't
shit
see
out
that, but
about it.
whenever people like point out things like this, I'm always like the moon landing thing. There's a thing about the moon landing being fake, and like one of the evidences is that like a popular movie production studio at the time in the 60s would put like an M on everything. And they're saying that like this movie production studio put on the moon landing, but you can tell because there's an M in the background or something. Like they wouldn't be that obvious about it.
Right.
You know, if it was like that big of like someone was just like, yeah, burn everything except the blue. Like that's so stupid.
I guess, I mean, like I said, there's just a lot of, who knows, you never know what to believe on the internet anymore.
Is there a conspiracy theory that you've heard about how bad Game of Thrones ended?
I don't think that's a conspiracy. It was bad.
Right, but like it went from incredible to horrible. Like, is
Why would
like,
there be a conspiracy?
Well, there's a conspiracy about everything.
So you think there was a plot
To tank Game of Thrones.
so people would talk about it more?
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm just posing the question.
Well, you're a poser.
That's what I'm
I
doing.
don't know. I thought the moon landing thing was that the flag was waving in the background, and that's why it looked fake.
See,
Yeah.
again, that seems so obvious.
Right. But because there's no gravity up there, so there wouldn't be any wind.
Have you ever seen the video though?
Yeah, the flag is moving, is waving.
Maybe there's a guy going like,
But they have
Is it
helmets
moving?
on.
okay, all right.
Well, but the reason behind that is we wanted to be the first to get there. Like, it was a competition to beat out all these, to prove that we're number one. You know, we're number
Is the
one.
flag waving? So that's like, that's Neil Armstrong and Buzz, right?
I don't know, but Buzz Aldrin talks about.
Buzz Aldrin is a fucking crazy dude.
Well, he talks about openly like seeing things that when he was up there. I guess he's been up there many times. But like he openly talks about he's seen some things up there.
I do feel like I've heard a lot about UFOs recently.
Oh, the UFOs, and I feel like people are like, okay. There's so much other shit going on that people are just like,
I'm
oh,
one of
UFOs? Okay.
Because there's like, I've heard about UFOs forever, and I guess now something happened, and like Congress talked about it. I don't know.
The guy came out in Congress and swore in front of Congress under oath that he kept saying, non-human entities or whatever.
So what, like a rabbit flying a ship?
I have no idea. That's all he said, non-human. But it's like, the fact that people are just like, okay. Like, what are we going to do anyways? If some...
Yeah.
But part of me is like, is it going to be like Independence Day? Or is it going to be like Scary Movie 3 aliens? Where they're just coming here to...
Right. To hang out?
To hang out and prevent... Remember they watched the evil video? Yeah. Like, we thought it was Pootie Day. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But
War of the Worlds? Not cool.
Not great. Well, then there's the lady on the plane.
Oh, yeah, the shapeshifter
Remember, she
thing?
said she saw some dude, like, roll his eyes or something, like... The part that's weird about it is I watched an interview with the lady afterwards, and it doesn't look like her at all.
Really?
Or sound like her. It's weird. I sent it to you. The lady that
said
it was,
yeah, you did.
So everybody's like, oh, they got her and cloned her. She saw it.
But I've seen a bunch of videos of that girl now, like, on TMZ and stuff. Like, the lady who said
really?
she saw it.
Yeah.
And she's, like, not like a crackhead.
No,
like, she's coherent.
What did they say? She had, like, a anxiety attack or
So-
something like that, which happens, but
If I saw a shapeshifter, I'd probably have an anxiety attack. I'd freak out.
fair.
You know what made me think of the scene in the first Men in Black when Will Smith's like, he blinked a set of eyes, and then he blinked a different set of eyes.
Right. That's what it was.
I was like, I bet that's what it
Was
was.
Men in Black
A documentary?
or a future memory?
Isn't there a third Men in Black?
Yeah. I think, isn't Macho Man in one of them?
I don't know. I never saw the third one.
Maybe that's a different, I don't know. Or maybe it's Mickey Rourke. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Dang.
But you have a football conspiracy theory.
Oh, yeah. So I literally wrote this in my notes the other night. I was like, so the Chiefs just signed Chris Jones.
Like the D tackle?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I saw that, I don't know what made me think, but I was like, did the Chiefs management purposely lose that game and not play great on defense so that they would get the deal done?
Oh, so they signed Chris Jones after?
Yes. Like, I think it was today or yesterday. The D tackle. So, like...
So this is your conspiracy. You've constructed this.
yeah, I don't know. It, like, hit me. Like, everything... The thing that sucks is everything I see nowadays is conspiracy.
You think about it.
Yeah. The first first conspiracy I think I ever went down the rabbit hole with was with Drew. And it was Tupac being alive.
Yeah.
That was the earliest one I can remember. The earliest one that I believed. And I still think
There's like
could be true.
a village in Haiti or something that he's supposed to be in.
There's Haiti or, what do they say? They say he's in Cuba.
I'd be in Cuba.
Tupac's just hanging
Instead
out.
of Haiti, I'd be in probably.
I feel like we would definitely, I don't know, I mean.
Well, also Haiti is where zombies come from, so maybe he is alive, but he's like not.
According to who?
That's like, I'm pretty sure where like the thing started. I'm pretty sure like Haitian culture is where like the zombies.
Really?
Like I came from.
Ancient. Okay. If you say so.
I don't.
I believe it.
I don't have my stats in front of me.
Yeah, my zombie
But I'm
stats.
pretty sure.
But yeah, but the thing is, like, they lost. They didn't look like the Chiefs. I mean, Kelsey wasn't playing. He's a big part of their offense. But
Yeah,
I'm just like, because you got to think the owner and, like.
So you're like but that would benefit Chris Jones. Not
The benefit of Chris Jones, right?
Right.
For them to not play well so he could get the deal signed.
Right.
Because if they would have, let's say they would have blown him out,
They're like,
defense
we
played
don't
ugly.
need you.
They don't need you, right?
Right. So why would
So
they
it
have?
benefited Chris
Did Chris
Jones.
Jones not want to sign or something though?
Yeah, he wanted more money.
Did he get the more money?
Yeah, they made a deal. So I'm assuming he got, or at least close to what he wanted.
What do you think about like the NFL being scripted?
Did you see the commercial or
Where they're going over the script?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Like,
that is funny.
either they're trolling or, I mean, it's gotta be.
I feel like if it is scripted, they're doing a bad job. Because like, why would you get Aaron Rodgers hurt week 1 after like hyping up like they were Hard Knocks and all that stuff? I feel like
Okay, but yeah, the Hard Knocks was awesome, by the way.
then he gets hurt, then you're like, that's like a whole market for you that now Unless Zach Wilson
then-
is Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, but then, like last night, I woke up, I was like, because it was, Aaron Rodgers goes out, and you're like, okay, game's over. The fact that the Jets pulled that off,
Insane.
I don't know if it says more about the Jets or more about the Bills.
I think it says more about the Bills, and I'm going to go on record as saying this real quick. Even though a lot of people tell me I look like Josh Allen, I do get that a lot.
Okay.
Other than that,
Think they're lying.
I'm out on Josh Allen. I'm not a
Oh,
fan.
you're out on him?
He plays bad in big games and big moments. He throws too many picks, too many bad balls.
He's aggressive.
He's very athletic, but I don't think he's like the Super Bowl quarterback. Like the Bills have been outrageous.
I think they're out of their window's closed.
Yeah.
I think they had the chance.
Josh Allen, I think, is
When they lost to the Chiefs that one year, and
that crazy.
we didn't get a chance to play.
No.
I think that's crap.
Just
How about play defense? You're allowed to play defense,
Yeah.
and you get a chance.
Millions of dollars for these people.
Yeah, so
I agree.
But I think their window's closed. Chiefs didn't look good. The Bengals didn't look.
Nobody except Dallas and the 49ers.
Don't bring up Dallas.
I'm sorry.
Okay, the
Sam
Giants look awful.
Yeah.
First of all,
Miami.
Miami might be the AFC. I mean, that Jets defense they're legit.
The Eagles almost lost to the Patriots.
You know what it's called when you almost lose?
I win.
Winning.
I almost won in fantasy,
Yeah. So again,
so I lost.
but that sucks, dude. I feel bad for the Jets fans. But did you see how the game ended?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, it goes into overtime, and Jets win on a punt return
What?
for a touchdown. Yeah.
No shit.
Yes. I was like, what?
Who? That's awesome.
The guy that was right away. I was like, oh, the guy from Hard Knocks, Xavier Gibson, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah, takes it to the house.
That reminds me when maybe it was the Redskins punted it to Deshaun Jackson.
No, that was
He ran back a punt
I
to
think it was
score
the Giants.
after he had like a crazy year of.
Hey, don't punt to that guy. He's gonna run it back.
straight
Okay,
to him.
right to him.
Touchdown.
That was against the Giants.
Oh.
Yeah, but that was in regulation, and then the time.
Yeah,
This
still
was in
crazy.
overtime.
Josh Allen is 0-5 in overtime games, by the way. Never won an overtime game.
Stephon Diggs though,
Yeah, I lost him in fantasy.
remember when we played him?
I was not there because it was 7-on-7. I was busy doing real things.
Oh, I thought you were our quarterback.
Yeah, that was bad.
He was his. That might be one of the best highlight tapes I've ever watched.
That other local kid scored, Jordan Addison.
Yeah,
He scored.
from Tuscarora. Yeah, dude, Frederick County puts
And
out
that kid from Potomac, Darby, he's starting for the Ravens.
Ronald Darby.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
he was playing like when we were in high school. Like
He was
He was in high school.
around the same class as us.
yeah.
Yeah, he
How was he still? That was like 12 years ago.
it was not 12 years ago when he graduated high school. Was it?
Dude, we graduated in 12. It's 2023.
Oh my god.
11 years.
I'm pretty sure it's Darby.
Sickening.
Maybe I'm thinking of another local kid, but there's a local guy starting on the Ravens defense.
Is it because the kid from TJ went to the Colts. Nico. What's his name?
Who?
What's his name? He played for Nate Harrison.
What?
Remember him? He was a track guy in high school.
Wow. I
He
didn't
played.
know that.
Yeah, he played for TJ. But he was on the Colts for a while. I don't know where he's at now.
Cool.
But yeah, dude, Frederick County has.
Putting it up.
Frederick County is one of the probably altogether probably one of the best counties in Maryland.
Oh, in football?
Yes.
I mean, it's got to be 1 or 2 behind Montgomery.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Montgomery. They have a million schools.
Right. So you're gonna.
There are. You got QO, who is like a college team. Damascus,
Yeah.
Seneca Valley. They're coming back Northwest. But then after that, it's kind of.
I mean,
and
I'll
some
put Frederick
schools-
number 1.
Yeah, if you just put, like, our schedule this year is brutal. Like, every week it's like, holy, you got Oakdale's, Fredericks, Walkersville, Middletown. Some schools are on, and even the schools that are not great this year, they're going to,
Yeah.
it kind of cycles.
Yeah, you can be
But,
good in Frederick and lose 5 games.
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy. So, Oakdale's going to be, yeah. There's definitely some good teams this year.
Football's back.
Football's
We're
back.
gonna just throw in like a weekly football recap.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We play Walkersville Thursday. That should be a good game.
And then Friday,
Sugar Ray, baby.
Sugar Ray, Tonic, Fastball, and the Gin Blossoms.
Gin Blossoms.
Coming to the Frederick Fair.
Frederick Fair.
Insane.
Yeah, I'm most excited to see. I like Fastball. Like they just, for me, '90s alternative is just
Yeah, like all those bands have some hits.
all those old Disney movies. Fastballs in them.
Oh
So
yeah,
much good.
that's your bread and butter right
Yeah,
there.
bread and butter. I mean, Sugar Ray is classic.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
should be
my,
good.
my jam.
That's the first day, right, of the fair.
I am submitting an item to be judged in the fair.
What do you mean?
Like, you
Like
go,
food?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
What do you make that?
Well, I was gonna do the chili, but
Oh.
there's not a chili category. But if you submit something in the fair to be judged, you get free entry for the whole week of the fair,
For the rest of your life?
just for that week.
Oh.
But it's like, fucking,
So I could just say, here, here's a bowl of
yeah.
chips.
I'm submitting some delicious little banana bread. I
Oh,
love banana bread.
you are something else.
Yeah.
Good for you. What if they're like, this sucks? You actually have to pay double.
This is the worst banana bread I've ever
You
had.
call this banana bread?
Yeah, man.
Why don't you never made? I like banana bread. You never made me any.
Well, I'm nervous.
You
We'll see
know-
how this goes.
Yeah, whatever. We need to have a wing off again. What else? NFL. NFL. Skins. Not sold.
Sam Howell,
I mean,
Super Bowl MVP.
the Cardinals just look
The Cardinals are horrible.
so bad. They don't have a quarterback. The head coach is a goober.
Yeah.
And then they almost lost at home. Now, I will say, it's been a long time since I've watched and seen the atmosphere like that.
Yeah.
Like, the crowd was in it. They were sold out, I'm pretty sure, except standing room.
Howell did have some good throws.
He did what he needed to do. I mean, but I'm not howling for him.
That was bad.
That was bad.
Yeah.
Okay. We can edit that out.
Yeah,
But,
you should. It was bad.
Yeah, I'm not sold. I mean,
I mean-
they're gonna win 8 games this year.
Here's my thing. I have no expectation for the Redskins because they've been bad my entire life.
Yeah.
So for me, a sloppy win is just a win. I don't care. Like Penn State is my college team, and if Penn State does not look good, I don't care if they win. I get pissed. Like when they played West Virginia, they beat them.
You were mad
They looked horrible.
because I watched that game and I was like, this Penn State team is not good.
I was so mad. Didn't even care that we won.
Who'd they play?
They played Delaware.
They beat them up.
It was like 63-7.
Just the
It
eye,
should
the eye test. They would get dominated by Georgia. Any of
It's
the
only the teams that can run the ball. They've got great skill position players, but they cannot stop the run. So
yeah, they just
they have a really good chance against most of the skill teams, but Georgia and Michigan will probably dominate.
Ohio State. I think probably gonna beat them.
Ohio State is. I mean, other than like Marvin Harrison Jr., they don't have a lot.
Who might win the Heisman?
He is insane.
Either him or that quarterback from USC.
Caleb Williams. If we did a top 5 like catches of all time, Marvin Harrison Jr. is in it.
With the one where he gets 1 foot down.
But it's like at an angle.
Yes.
It looks like his leg should be
That
broken.
was stupid. Yeah. Yeah. Texas?
Beat Bama.
Back? Question mark?
I have no basis for saying this. When Texas is good, college football is better.
I'm okay with that.
People.
People have been saying Texas back for, like, waiting.
McConaughey.
Dude, he was on the sidelines. I just kidding.
Oh, I bet he's going.
He was going nuts.
Dude,
He's just like I don't even think they, like, invite. I think he just shows up on
are you gonna kick out McConaughey?
No.
You're gonna be that guy?
He's the best.
What is he wearing in that one video?
Oh, my God.
Is it like a Home Depot hat? Or
He's
something?
wearing an Ace Harbor hat.
Yeah.
Giving a speech to the
Like-
Texans.
Isn't that before Alabama?
Nah, I mean, this is years ago. I think it was, I forget it was, but that's a great,
That game goes to overtime.
white t-shirt, black athletic pants, Ace Harbor hat.
Legend.
Let it rip.
Could you imagine? They almost won that game, but they did beat Alabama, which I love.
I think Bama's going to be down this year.
Yeah.
Is the dynasty over?
Uh,
That did not look like an Alabama football team. Defense wasn't great.
it's the worst Bama team we've seen in probably 15 years.
And the fact that you say worst, they're still going to finish top
top 15 at least.
I would say top 10 probably.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably going to win the rest of their games.
I mean, now that I'm going to say it is over, just because all this crazy stuff with the NIL and the conference realignments and stuff, I feel like it's going to be easier for other teams to recruit and compete with Alabama.
That's true.
So, yes.
Texas.
But Texas Dynasty starting.
Back. I'm for it. Sarkisian, I don't know if because he coached under Saban.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he knew,
I'm pretty sure only 3 former Saban assistants have ever beaten Saban. Kirby, Sarkisian, and maybe Lane Kiffin?
I don't think Lane Kiffin's, no. Because Lane Kiffin plays at, wherever he get, Ole Miss.
So who
I
else?
feel like they don't like each other either, Saban and...
There's some weird names in college football. Lane, Debo, Jimbo.
No, not Dabo.
Dabo.
What's the best college head coach football name?
Jimbo Sweeney.
It's either... Okay.
Oh, wait, Jimbo Fisher.
It's
Sorry.
Jimbo Fisher, Dabo Sweeney.
Jimbo, I feel like, is ridiculous.
Fisher. Jimbo.
That's a redneck name.
Yes. But Dabo?
Dabo's a good one, too.
Clemson lost to Duke a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. College football.
College
A
football,
hot
dude.
start.
College football is the best.
Michigan's going to be really good.
Yeah.
But Penn State will beat them and Georgia and win the championship.
Okay. Yeah, and your dreams, as they say.
Lock it in.
And your dreams. What, fantasy football? You got your team?
I do have a team. I also did a league with my fiance. Just a random league. We were tubing, and our buddy, kicker, Johnny, was like, let's start up a league for fun. So it's 4 dudes, 4 chicks. There's no buy-in. There's no punishment right now. But my fiance is doing her first ever fantasy football team.
How do you feel about doing multiple? Well, you just,
Oh, I hate it.
So here's my thing.
I hate it.
That would be so annoying having to do that every week. And then the second thing is, maybe I have this guy on my one team, but then I'm playing against that guy in my other league. It's like, so I'm rooting for him, but I'm not at the same time.
It's like, I need you to score so I win, but don't score that much.
Yes.
Because then I'll lose.
I'm like,
I hate it.
This is dumb.
Yeah.
That would just, I'm good with one league. And
I don't care about this other league, really. Otherwise, I don't do 2 leagues. There's enough at stake in my main league. The tattoo league,
Which,
I
go
don't.
ahead and tell the people.
In my main league, if you lose, you get a tattoo. So, you get to pick the location of the tattoo, but the other...
On your body.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on your body.
Yes.
You pick where. But the other 11 people in the league get to decide what the tattoo is. And we have some rules.
Yeah.
No genitalia, no family, no ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm not in that league, and I would never want to be.
I'm not. You know what sucks though is I have a tattoo that I chose to get on my calf, and when people see it, they're like, "Oh man, I didn't know you lost that one year."
Oh,
I'm like, I like this tattoo.
yeah, that's hurtful. They just don't know.
Yeah,
They just don't get it. They don't get it.
Sorry.
What's on? I think last year we started the Waffle House challenge, which I think is hilarious.
I met a dude in Nashville who claimed to do the the Waffle House challenge in an hour. He ate 24.
Dude, they're huge.
Yeah.
Which the Waffle House challenge is, you have to go to the Waffle House. You have to be there for 24 hours, but for every waffle you eat, you can take an hour off.
Right.
Yeah.
So this dude ate 24 waffles.
And
I guess 23
23.
in an hour. And they're huge.
How long was Travis there last year? Do you remember?
Like 8 or 9 hours?
Yeah.
I want to say.
Dude,
But he's got a small throat.
I don't care who. That sucks.
You would have to use a lot of syrup, I feel like, to lube it up.
Yeah, whoa, okay, yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. It'd be like the scene in Super Troopers.
They're chugging it?
Rabbit has to chug the syrup bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think fantasy football is luck, mostly, because it's whoever's team doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to every year. Now, I will say, am I a 2-time champion?
Did you get lucky twice?
It's
Maybe.
maybe. I mean, I gotta think some of it's skill.
Tyler's
Tyler's gonna yell at me for that.
You just said it's all luck.
Well, I said it's all luck with a little bit of skill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tyler's gonna probably text me after he watches this.
Oh, there's a conspiracy there.
Yeah.
Cheating commissioner.
Oh.
I'm not even in the league. I just like to stir the pot.
Why would you even say something like that? Right, if you're the commissioner, you're automatically cheating.
Yeah. Anytime our commissioner wins a game
Oh, it's cheating.
or makes a trade, cheating.
Cheating.
Doesn't even matter.
It's a scapegoat.
Yeah.
It's cheating.
And every year he's like, I don't want to be commissioner anymore. And we're like,
Yeah, okay.
nobody else wants
Guy
us.
who loves meats.
Oh, yeah.
The meat master.
Loves dude meat. He just got engaged.
Did he really?
Yeah.
On top of a mountain?
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
Literally engaged.
Of course. Good for him.
He is such a douche, and he found someone who likes him. So there's hope for.
Hey, there's love for everybody.
Yeah.
And what does Vince Vaughn say? Sometimes there's two for every one somebody. Call that the jackpot, right? That's in dodgeball. In case you were wondering.
Nice.
It's cool. I didn't make that up.
No, I believe you.
Okay. All right. So, wow, a lot of good stuff.
You want to get
What
into
So today we got sports rivalries. Probably not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about these. I mean, you can only say so much, but
We'll see what comes up.
I've been wanting to do this one for a while.
Do you feel like rivalries are like less than they were because of like when you say rivalries, I think of college football mostly, but like I feel like in the NFL, there's so many people like holding out or like wanting big contracts and moving teams and stuff, and then in college you've got these conference realignments, you've got the people like hunting money, the NIL deals, and like transfer portal and all that stuff. Like, do you feel like rivalries are the same as what they were say 20 years ago?
Yes. Now there's different. Some are bigger now than up. Like I'm not going to bring up Lakers Celtics
Right.
because to me that was
70s.
that was the 70s, right? But that was the biggest. That was huge. I'm not going to because I don't know. I mean,
Right, you weren't live.
we weren't even alive. So, did you go more individual? Did you go individual route? Like
Mine are all teams.
mine are all teams too.
But I did. I'm just curious what other people think. And the one that popped up everywhere was Ali versus Frazier.
Yeah.
And then there was a bunch of like tennis ones. I don't,
Federer versus one of those guys. I don't know.
Roger Goodell versus Fun.
Versus Dave Portnoy.
Yeah,
Versus Barstool. Yeah. Odell Beckham versus that kicking net.
Oh, Antonio Brown versus his own mental health.
Versus CTE.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not funny, but
Sorry,
kind of.
4-1 out.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Yeah. Stone Cold versus The Rock.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That could have been one. Or McMahon versus Stone Cold. Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Or DX.
Or Sandusky versus all those little boys.
And we're going to take a short break here. Oh, bad.
Sorry,
Bad. Damn, you're off to a hot start.
I'm feeling froggy.
Wow.
3 weeks off.
All right, who's up?
I have no idea. Wait, what is it? Is it an odd number or even number?
6.
Okay, because you started the first one.
You started the last one, I want to say.
All right.
Right?
I don't know.
Now, number 5, you're going to like this one.
All right.
And all of my...
I
feel like you probably know.
I have a feeling.
You want to take a guess?
Hold on. You tell. Is it a local one?
People will enjoy it.
You tell me. Tell me what it is.
Okay. Nothing better. Now it's my number 5 because it's nothing better. Saturday, 1 o'clock, week 10 of the Frederick County
I knew that's what it was.
Linganore versus
That's
Urbana.
what I was gonna guess.
On Saturdays,
Always.
specifically.
Yeah.
There was nothing better than that.
So many people.
You had the entire town come to watch. Always a great game. Didn't matter who was good. I mean, it really didn't matter. And usually, whoever won that game
Goes
would
on.
end up winning states. Or sometimes they played each other in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
Like a week or two later.
Not from like 98 to 03. I think Linganore or Urbana was in the States every year. Because Urbana went on that streak of 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
And then Linganore went back to back.
Yes.
It was like 6 years in a row.
Yeah. Incredible. That was and well, how long was that around? I mean, that was probably 90. The last year they did it was a year after we left. So
Yeah.
2013 would have been the last year they did it. right?
Yeah.
It was at Urbana. And I think it started out on Friday nights. The rumor that I heard was it got moved to Saturdays because there was fights happening. That was the original reason why they moved it to Saturdays.
Well, I think it makes sense too because like it was at least one of the biggest rivalries in the entire state.
I think it was number one at peak.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the good counsel versus DeMatha,
right,
in a private school, but at its peak, there was no better. To me, I think there was no better rival.
Yeah, I mean, I think of like obviously the OG days, 2002, 2003. Both teams are like 1 and 2 in the state.
Yes.
And Lingenor's field is surrounded by corn.
Yes. They didn't even have the bleachers on the other side yet.
And you still have like you got trucks pulled up in the cornfield.
Oh,
there's thousands of people on that side.
Dude, there's. I'm glad we got to play in that one of those. Cause, and it's not the same it being on Friday. Also, there was a run. Lingenor, we had won it like 9 years in a row. So
yeah.
I think it doesn't make it as much of a rival.
Yeah.
I think when it's a rival, it has to be like.
Yeah, back and forth.
You know, not saying that they weren't good. They were still good games. I think there was only a couple blowouts, but.
I knew that was going to be on your list. So.
Yeah, I was like, I got to put it on there. There's nothing better. Now, Oakdale's probably our bigger rival. Now, it's still a rival, but I don't think it's not as big as it once was.
Well, you know, for Lingenor Urbana, and I'm assuming they don't do this anymore, but when it was on Saturdays, whoever the away team was would go out and decorate on the way to the school. So I remember, like, for us, when we pulled into Urbana our junior year, like, you pull into, like, the neighborhoods of Urbana to get there, and there's lances
it's
like, all over the town to get there.
Huge. It's huge.
And then they do the same thing when they come to us. Like,
awesome. I don't think people understand that. Like, you know, we play the game now, it's like, oh, yeah, you know, it's a big game, rival, last game. But they don't realize how big at one point it was.
Insane. Thousands of people.
Teams from other teams would come, right, because they weren't playing. I mean, I wish I was a spectator at that time. Old enough to be here. Well, I was. I mean, like an adult.
Yeah, you weren't.
Because that's one of those you could, like, probably,
right, you'd appreciate it.
A couple drinks in the parking lot and do,
yeah, you wouldn't be the only one.
No.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I respect it.
Yeah, I had to put that on there. That's personally, I'm going to go with number 5.
I don't have that on there purely because I didn't want to get too personal with it, but I agree with it 100%.
It's your list.
Yeah.
What you got? 5.
My 5 spot, we said this in the sports one too, but I'm heavy on college stuff. Almost have this one higher. I'll tell you why I don't. But I have the Iron Bowl, Alabama versus Auburn football.
Okay.
So I don't have this higher because I feel like if you look at the history of the rivalry, it's more significant recently instead of like long-term history.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, obviously, like the best dynasty with Bear Bryant and now with Nick Saban. But in our lifetime, like the last 10 years, the Alabama-Auburn games have been insane.
Unbelievable.
Like several national championships between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Usually before Georgia got huge, and a few years with LSU, Alabama-Auburn was decided in the SEC. You've got obviously the legendary Kick 6 game, which I had in my top sports.
Yes, yeah. Can't forget about that.
Dude, like that in itself is like what college football to me is all about.
Yes.
You know?
It's called the Iron Bowl.
It's got a name.
Yeah, gritty.
And two teams that hate each other that are in the SEC. It's just
SEC, yep.
Insane.
Now you can't forget about who's the guy who poisoned the tree.
Oh my God!
That was the Auburn Alabama rivalry.
Yeah. They have that's on Auburn's campus.
Right. What they call it?
They're like these. They almost look like the tree of Gondor.
They're white.
They're like white oak trees.
Yeah.
And this guy, who do you call him? Was it the Paul Feinbaum show or something?
Yeah.
This Bama fan calls in. They're talking about these trees. They're super famous. It's illegal to even touch them.
Right.
What is this dude? He calls in. He said, "I tell you what.
He poisons a tree.
I poison those goddamn trees. Roll damn tide.
Like, you think I give a damn? Roll tide."
And then hangs up. It just said on live air that he just committed a felony.
Yeah, if my mom's like, that's illegal, right? You think I give a damn?
Roll damn tide. Yeah.
Dude, that's they got a good documentary about that on ESPN. But, that's immediately what I think of.
Roll
damn
Tide versus
Just
War Eagle.
got poisoned.
Poisoned the trees.
Poisoned the tree.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I would say if there was, to go to the Iron Bowl and be there for some of those moments, it's incredible. Would have it higher, like I said, if the history of the series was probably a little greater. Now, there was, I saw doing my research, there's some crazy games back in like the 70s and 80s. It's a pretty historic rivalry, but just for what it's been in our lifetime is awesome. Definitely part of the reason I love college sports so much is because of the Iron Bowl.
I like that. I like that spot. All right. On number 4, I got another personal one.
Okay.
Rob would take it personally. I went Caps Penguins.
Yeah.
Because as a Caps fan, I don't hate another team in any other sport more than I hate the Penguins.
I agree.
Right?
I
hate Sidney Crosby more than any other player ever.
in any sport.
In any sport ever. Yeah. Can't stand him. I think he's unbelievable.
Sure.
I think he's,
He'll be first ballot.
yes. He'll go down as a better player than, Ovechkin just because he did more cups. Oh my gosh. And losing to them year after year in the playoffs.
Even though we're the 1 seed most of the time.
And then we beat them to get to
Oh my God, it was awesome.
That was, like I said, and we've had nothing to say for there's so many years. I was like,
you beat
they got more rings. It's, God.
And they're Pittsburgh fans on top of it, so like they have the Steelers,
which another team I can't stand,
which have so many rings, and then
Yeah.
the Penguins. Like other than like the Pirates, if
Yeah.
you're a Pittsburgh fan, you're spoiled.
I feel like being a Pittsburgh fan would be kind of cool. Like if you were from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I don't like the people that aren't from Pittsburgh. Like, why do you like Pittsburgh if you're not?
Because they're good. Maybe they're like the Permane brothers. You ever had those?
I've never had one of my brothers, no. That's a sandwich place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well, your brother said, right, didn't he live down there?
Both my brothers did, yeah.
And it's a cool town. You said it was a cool town.
Pittsburgh's cool. It's like a smaller city. Like it feels weird when you're there because like if you've ever been in New York, like you're like holy shit, there's people
that's completely different.
Even like Baltimore feels way busier than Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah. Pittsburgh feels like a much more casual city, which I like.
Yeah.
But the south side of Pittsburgh is awesome. Hate their hockey team. Hate
Oh
it.
my gosh.
Love the
I hate the Steelers too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. I think is it their fans?
It's gotta be the fans.
It's gotta be the fans.
Except Crosby, because like we're Washington fans. Maybe Crosby's a better player, whatever. But Ovechkin hits the shit out of people. So like that's our guy. You have Crosby, who's a whiny little bitch.
Yeah. He's
So,
a
like-
golden child.
Right.
I
hate the way he plays.
Well, and Ovechkin and him are like buddies, kind of. They have like an unwritten because he won't hit Crosby. Now on their run, he was hitting him.
But like regular season.
He doesn't ever go after him. Like,
Yeah, they never fight. Like they've jawed at each other a few times, and people
Yeah.
immediately break.
but I think it's just such a respect thing. They came in at the same time.
Yeah.
Both incredible players.
But I feel like that's part of the reason why I hate Pittsburgh. Other than beating us every year, I just think that
Crosby.
It's Crosby.
He might be the most hateable player. Now, if you're Pittsburgh, you love him.
Sure, I would.
God, he's so hateable.
I support the 4 spot though. I'm on board 100%.
Yeah. What do you got?
So this is gonna surprise you, I think, because it's a sport that
I've been surprised a lot so far in these.
I think
these damn episodes.
you'll agree with it. Just
Okay.
not one you would expect to be on my list.
Is it Weezer?
It's Weezer versus Cuban sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
My 4 spot is basketball.
Okay.
Duke versus UNC.
Ooh.
College basketball.
Okay.
Two of probably the best college basketball programs, like ever. Probably 1 and 2.
Up there.
Legendary coaches. You got Roy Williams. You got Coach K.
And before Roy Williams, you had
Another Hall of Famer.
Dean Smith. But he was a
That was
legend.
another legend.
What's his name? Dean Smith. Yeah.
And the schools are 10 miles apart.
They're that close?
They're 10 miles apart.
Are you sure?
Yeah. 10 miles apart. So you've got Duke, who's the private school, you know.
They're both in Raleigh?
I don't know.
Wait, I don't know.
I didn't look up the address, but they're 10 miles apart.
You didn't Waze it? So you're just going to say that and you didn't Waze it. Okay, I'm listening, but I'm going to look that up.
So Duke, private school, UNC, public school. I feel like that adds to it. The amount of players that travel through both, absolutely insane. 10 miles apart. Legendary programs, like all of that together is just crazy.
9.8.
Wow, so I oversold it.
You lied.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were. I actually had no idea that they were that close.
Insane.
Yeah.
So they're probably competing for all of the same recruits.
Mm.
They probably, like, you could party together, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
but they hate each other.
Right. But that's crazy. And then the way Coach K goes out, remember? UNC beat him at home, like his last game or whatever.
They were bad by time.
Yeah, but that's just awesome that happened.
And if you look up their records against each other, it is like 1 or 2 games off.
Yeah.
Like wins lost for each other.
I also looked up how many NBA players they produced.
Oh.
And it was like Duke has 74 and UNC has 73 or something. Like whatever the NBA was, also within one.
They also both had players that were very hateable.
Christian Laettner?
You have Leitner, JJ Redick,
Yeah.
who I love now. I mean, you hated him though as a Dookie. UNC had Tyler Hansbrough.
Yeah.
Nobody liked him.
What do these guys have in common?
What? Yeah. Now that's a good look at you pulling out some basketball.
Historic.
Good for you.
Yeah. Probably the only time I'll reference basketball on this podcast.
Yeah. Probably. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's funny though, because I'm gonna move forward to my 3 spot.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So I have Duke basketball versus Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that was an awesome rivalry when they were both in the ACC. But when Maryland moved to Big Ten, they didn't play each other.
I feel like it was a rivalry for us as Maryland fans. I feel like if you ask a Duke fan, it was never a rivalry.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I actually...
Like, for us, beating Duke,
yeah.
like, what was that one year? Like, 2006 or something, we beat Duke. I remember my uncle's a huge UNC fan, or UMD fan. He has a whole room dedicated to Maryland. And he has a framed picture of this random Duke fan in the stands crying.
Yeah, no, that is... That's when they beat them back in like,
It was a while ago.
It was the year they won the national championship.
Yeah.
Steve Blake, Juan Dixon, they haven't been good at basketball since.
Right.
They've been okay.
As a local guy,
yeah,
I'm on board.
So does that make it make that person another person?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like that was and I'm not a huge Maryland basketball or football fan.
I think if you lived anywhere else, you would not even register that as a rivalry.
Really?
Yeah. This is your Cuban sandwich.
Right now.
I
disagree. Yeah, but I think if you ask any Maryland fan,
right, you ask any Duke fan, they will never.
I could ask any sandwich fan, and Cuban would not be on there.
Everyone's a sandwich fan.
Yeah, not everybody's a Cuban sandwich fan.
Well, if they're dumb.
Yeah.
No, I think you're wrong on this.
You think on purpose?
In the 3 spot? No way. There's so many better rivalries.
You think Caps Penguins should have been?
I think that's.
I'm telling you, that was a giant. Because the years that JJ Redick was there.
Okay, so for what, 3 years they were both good. After that, it was just Duke whooping our ass.
Early 2000s,
hating Duke.
Maybe it is personal.
I think you're going too much in this.
You might be.
We'll
right.
see what the people think.
Yeah, I gotta ask a Duke fan. I don't think I know any Duke fans, but
I don't want to know any Duke fans.
Yeah,
we have to know one. There's got to be some douche out there.
Swink's a UNC fan. I know that.
Is he?
Yeah, he's sure. I don't think we know any Duke fans.
Oh,
probably for a good reason.
Thank God. What about?
I'm telling you, that was a big rival when
Keith Klutz.
He likes Duke.
He's a Duke fan. I'm pretty sure.
His older brother.
I don't know.
I think his older brother is.
I think he's just a douche.
A dude fan
who is really large.
Have you seen the video on YouTube where the guy made a video about this is why Duke sucks?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's like a remix. Remember that This Is Why I'm Hot? He made a remix. This is why you suck.
That's awesome.
And he's like, just makes fun of Duke. It's really funny. Duke is a very hateable.
Yeah.
Like if you're not a Duke fan,
Well, they're like a preppy private school. They're amazing at basketball, which makes them easy to hate.
Yeah.
But they just get like douchey,
players.
preppy. Like I feel like if you're on Duke, even if you weren't on the Duke basketball team, you're gonna end up successful. Like I feel like those dudes end up being like professional basketball players or lawyers. You know?
Probably. You're probably right with that.
So I just don't
Okay.
like them.
I need to talk to people. Hopefully we get some feedback about that one.
Yeah, I hope you do get some feedback on that
Yeah, I hope you just showed up.
one. All right, I'll give you mine.
What's your number 3?
My 3 spot. I'm going back to college, 3 in a row.
You're going back to college?
Yeah.
Oh man, congrats.
Thanks, man.
Going back to be a doctor?
You know, one time at work I was talking about like moving up with the company or something, and my boss's boss was like, "Well, you should really think about going back and getting your master's." And I was like, "No,
Will you get more money?
no, not directly.
Oh.
It would just help me get a promotion, but also like they don't pay for it." I was like,
Oh.
"I went to school for like 24 years, dude.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Best 6 years of school?
I'm not going back."
No. No, I mean I took classes, but in my
Well, you have to do stuff, don't you?
Well, I don't have to, but the more classes you take, like I get paid way more.
Right. So
Compared
it's
to
worth
what-
it for you.
Yes, like it makes sense.
Right. That was just a little rant.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Back to college.
Back to college.
The infamous Red River rivalry.
Oh,
Texas versus Oklahoma.
horns down.
Hey, horns up this year.
Horns up, horns up.
Two.
The fact that they made that a penalty.
Oh my God.
How soft are we?
Ridiculous.
That just sums up everything.
I will say I love Texas. Like, I have no reason for this. Like I said earlier, Texas is like my 3rd college football team. I just like when they're good.
All right.
But throwing horns down is fun.
That's awesome. Like,
Just doing the horns down.
horns down. Oh, flag. What?
What? Horns down?
Why?
Horns up. No, it's soft.
That's might be yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But you got 2 legendary programs, Texas and Oklahoma. They play on a neutral site. And I did. Yeah, they usually play on a neutral site in Dallas.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know this either. They split the stadium. So if you're a Texas fan, you sit on one side. Oklahoma fan, you sit on the other side.
Love that.
And it's split down the middle, red, orange. So
Love
you
that.
can look at the stadium and see.
Don't knock over Stone Cold.
Oh, you want to talk about some rivalries?
You'll get stunned. That's a good one. And it's always like a 68 to like 45.
Yeah, well, Big 12 doesn't play defense.
0 defense, sir.
Even though they're joining the SEC, right? Or did they join
Who?
the Texas and Oklahoma? Did
Dude, I can't even keep up with it because everybody's just, they should just have 4 super conferences. That's what it's going to be.
I've said that.
Just 4 super conferences. Which
Southeast,
is dumb.
Northeast, Northwest, Southwest.
Because USC is joining.
The Big Ten. And
So when they
UCLA.
play games, like,
How are they going
The
to win an
travel.
away game ever? You're going to go play Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State? Well, they're actually going to be on the other side of the conference.
it's literally all about money,
Right.
which is.
Well, now
crazy.
I read some of the other teams joining the Big 12, like Washington and Oregon. So the Pac-12 is going to be gone.
Yeah.
But like for football, I get it because you make a lot of money. What if you're the fucking field hockey team?
Oh,
Or the
that
baseball team and
sucks.
you play like 40 games a year?
I didn't think about
And
that.
half of your games are in Pennsylvania and Ohio?
I feel like they might lose out on recruits for that reason.
Absolutely. I wouldn't want to do that.
Like that travel sucks.
You can't take classes. You have to be online.
What if you're scared of flying? Like me.
You better figure it out.
You just-
Oh yeah, you are scared of flying,
You
aren't
just
you?
quit.
You're a little baby.
No,
I mean, what do you do?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't like it.
Horns down on
Horns down on that.
but
Yeah.
horns up on Red River Rivalry.
Yeah, big fan.
Legendary.
And when they come
programs.
out, don't they come out with the horses?
The Sooners come out with a wagon.
A wagon.
Dude, it tipped over one year. Do you remember that?
Hilarious.
And then the
Yeah.
Texas comes out with that giant longhorn cat. It's like a cow
yeah.
with huge
Giant.
horns.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
And 2
cool.
legendary programs. Now, I feel like it's been more SEC dominated, so this rivalry I think is always awesome. Has meant less recent years because Oklahoma hasn't been as dominant and Texas hasn't been as dominant, but either way, it's always awesome. They're usually ranked in like the top 25,
Yeah, they're usually pretty good.
but it's always a good game.
Yeah.
Usually, in previous years, you got the Big 12 conference title on the line, basically.
Right.
That will start to change, but Red River Rivalry, number 3.
Again, great name too.
The names is what makes it.
Back to back. It's Iron Bowl and Red River.
Iron Bowl.
Red Rocket.
Is there a name for Duke versus UNC?
The Battle
Of the Blue.
Of the Blues. The Blue. I don't know. Yeah.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, we'll think of one.
Can I say one quick thing about Duke basketball?
No.
So when I do a March Madness bracket, because I know nothing about basketball, I just pick my team. I pick the winner based off if the mascots got in a fight.
Okay.
So if it's Maryland, they usually lose because they're a terrapin.
They're a turtle.
So my bracket always has Duke winning because how are you gonna kill the devil?
But he's a Blue Devil.
So whenever Duke is winning, like whenever Duke does really well, my bracket usually does really well.
Really?
Because I have Duke win it every year. But if Duke does bad, I still have them win it because you can't beat them in a fight. Like one year, I think my final was UAB because they're the Dragons versus Duke. But UAB was the 16 seed. But I think maybe like the 14 seed, but they upset people in like 2 rounds. And I had them going really far, which no one else did, but just because they're the Dragons.
So you're onto something.
Think about it.
You might be a time traveler.
That's all.
Okay. That's a good one.
2-spot.
2-spot. As much as I hate one of these teams, I think it's the best NFL rivalry. Ravens Steelers.
I agree.
That is such an awesome.
At least for like 10 years there.
Oh my! Like the Ed Reed years, the Palomalu.
Yeah.
When they would play each other in the playoffs every single year.
Awesome.
Those
And like 2 of
are-
the top teams in the NFL every year.
Yeah, those are battles every single time. They hate each other.
Yeah, you had amazing defenses. Like,
And that was one where it didn't matter record. And I still don't think it matters. Records. That's going to be a great game. You don't know who's going to win that one ever.
I did not put that in my top 5, but I really, really thought about it.
Yeah.
I would say for professional sports,
Yeah. As far as like NFL goes,
it's got to be number 1. I agree.
yeah, I think it's yeah. I wish like the Redskins Cowboys. Like obviously, I hate the Cowboys. Like it just doesn't feel like a rivalry because the Redskins have been so mediocre. So have the Cowboys.
Right.
Like
No, I agree. You can't have a rival if you're bad.
if you're just not good and
Yeah, I agree.
maybe
It's like Duke versus Maryland.
yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
You're bad every year. It's not a rival.
Yeah, I was very specific. Okay. And then I think the next would be Cowboys Eagles.
I mean, like the most historic one I think is Packers Bears.
Yeah, if you're going historic. Yeah.
But like, yeah, for recent
But the
years,
Bears were-
they've been bad for years.
Since like Mike Ditka was there.
In our lifetime, gotta be Ravens Steelers.
Yeah, it's an awesome. That's. I hate to say this, but I almost wish I was born a Ravens fan
Yeah, 100%.
because they've always been like good,
They've got 2 Super Bowls in our life.
and they're so spoiled. Anytime they can win 11 games, whatever, go in the playoffs, and
Oh, I hate Ravens fans.
they're crybabies.
Oh my god.
Don't care.
Horns down on the Ravens.
Horns down. Ravens.
Yeah, dude.
Edgar Allan. Ho.
Nice.
Yeah. Ravens. They're spoiled. They're spoiled.
Yeah, I agree.
They when did they even become a team? 98.
And then they won a Super Bowl.
And they won
2 years later.
3 years later. Okay. So what are you crying about?
Yeah.
Quit sulking in the corner.
When's the last time we won? 91?
94. 3 or 4. 93. 93.
Crazy.
I wasn't even born.
The Ravens weren't even a team. Ravens
That's
weren't
what I'm
even a
saying. And they're good every year.
Yeah.
They've had like 2 really bad years.
But the Steelers, again, we're talking about Pittsburgh sports, which I hate. But the Steelers, they went on a run there where both of those teams were just incredible.
Yes. And like when they would play each other in the playoffs, like but I remember the one year when McGahee got knocked out. Remember that?
Mhm.
That's what I think about. It's just hard hitting.
It was the way football, the way you want to see football played.
Yes, you won't see it played like
Good
that.
defenses, running the ball, hitting the shit out of each other.
Jerome Bettis,
The Bus.
the Bus,
Another good nickname.
versus Ray Lewis, the murderer.
Awesome.
Maybe allegedly,
We'll see.
but Ray Lewis all time.
Yeah.
Ed Reed favorite safety. Sean Taylor.
Did Ray Lewis and Henry play together in Miami?
I want to say yes, maybe for like a year.
Because that's insane.
That Miami Hurricanes team is If we do greatest teams,
You have to. You just have to pick which year.
they have like 20 guys that played NFL, on
Like
the
at
same
one
team.
time, yeah.
Yeah. You ever been to a Ravens game?
Yeah, M&T's awesome.
They're fun.
Yeah.
Redskins game?
Redskins has to block off. Do
Horns down.
they still block off the top half of the stadium? Like when it
Not-
was a
not
sellout this week, was it?
No, they didn't block it off. There's actually people there.
That's sad that they even have to.
Yeah, they used to, yeah.
The whole top section.
I mean, you went to a miserable. We went, 2 years ago, Saints game. When was CJ? I forget who that person was. But like the tailgating sucked.
Yeah.
It's so expensive. We got it for free, but it's expensive as shit.
It sucks to get there.
Sucks getting there, correct, and leaving.
We should get a new stadium with the new owners, though.
I think they're spending like $40 million on renovations right now.
Okay.
Or their plans. I think 40 million. I think. I don't think billion.
40 billion?
I think it's 40 million.
You could build a whole city.
You build it? Yeah, that's true. Okay, so it's 40 million. Yeah, that's. Oh, and by the way, we're in the stadium. There's more Saints fans, and all you hear is the Houdat chant. I'm like, this sucks.
Well, yeah. Like,
and then they lose. Like,
I really don't have any interest in going to a Redskins game because, like, for
if-
all those reasons we just said, and also they've been bad my whole life.
the only game I want to go to is the Dolphins, so I can see Tyreek Hill,
That dude's so fast.
fastest guy.
And see two.
He's the fastest man.
much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot my gun
Yeah.
in the air.
In the air. Yeah.
All right, that's your 2 spot.
2 spot. Yep.
I like it.
What do you got?
My 2 spot. So we've been talking about good nicknames a lot. This is arguably the worst nickname for a big rivalry. So I'm going to give you the nickname. You tell me if you know what it is. It's college football again. This rivalry is called The Game.
Oh, it's Michigan, Ohio State?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Game
The
is what they
Game.
call it.
Okay. Go ahead, sorry.
No, what were you say? Tell me.
I want you to tell me why it's a rivalry.
Well, other than the states backing up, they go after the same recruits all the time. 2 legendary programs again. I think a big part of this, if you look at it historically, so when the BCS was around for all those years in the original bowl games for the playoffs, the granddaddy of them all was the Rose Bowl. Who gets an automatic bid to the Rose Bowl? The Big Ten. So usually...
Did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
Is
Is bro code?
Go ahead. Did you hear that?
That was
That
weird.
was weird. Are we have a ghost in here?
He was like, ah.
Okay, go ahead.
So,
Sorry.
Big Ten gets automatic bid to the Rose Bowl.
Right.
The 2 best teams in the Big Ten, other than a few years where it's Penn State or randomly, not even Wisconsin, Ohio State and Michigan. So usually you've got one of these 2 teams in the winner. If they're not going to the national championship or now the playoffs, they're going to the Rose Bowl, which was the granddaddy of them all, is what they call it. So the significance around that game, and you got, I mean, before the rise of the SEC, the Big Ten was dominant. So you've got 2 historic programs, 2 programs that absolutely fucking hate each other.
Facts.
There is a documentary you can watch on this called The Game, Ohio State versus Michigan,
Okay.
and it's awesome. Talks about like the recruiting and how they go after each other, the way the fans interact, how much they hate each other, all that stuff. I think it's on like ESPN Plus or something.
Probably
It's
on
awesome.
Disney.
So such a legendary rivalry, they just call it The Game, and you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. I knew you were going to bring this one up, and I'm glad you did because I disagree. We talked about rivalries, like teams have to win back. When's the last time Michigan has beaten Ohio State?
The last 2 years.
Okay. Before that,
Before that, Ohio State probably has a pretty good run.
they won like 12 in a row or
I
something.
think it's like 7 in a row.
8.
Michigan won
Yeah.
the last 2 years.
12 sound better.
The last 2 years.
Okay. Before that, though, like they had literally lost, I'm telling you, it's probably 8 or 9 in a row.
How many times has Duke beat Maryland in a row?
None of your damn business. Okay. Well, it helps that they won the last 2. It helps.
I do not have the record pulled up in front of me. But I'm pretty sure the first time they played each other was 1897.
We were not born yet.
We were not.
Weren't even the thought.
Nope.
Parents weren't even born.
Ray Lewis had not killed a guy yet.
No. A.J. Simpson did not murder his wife.
No, I think Lincoln had like just gotten shot in the head.
Yeah.
So you got history on your side. Now they hadn't played every year since 1897. I think every year since like 1918.
I think as far as the hype goes, it's definitely because it's always hyped up. Even though Ohio State literally had it under control.
For a couple years there, Ohio State was pretty good. It's probably like 7 in a row. But it's over.
It's over.
It's done.
It's done.
The guarantee Michigan wins this year.
Guaranteed.
100%. I'll put my whole paycheck on it.
Well, how much is that?
I won't do it. It's like a nickel.
Like $6.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I knew you were gonna have that on.
I'm also a Big Ten guy, obviously. So
Yes.
these are like my 2 least favorite college football teams ever. I hate these teams.
Yeah, because they beat Penn State every year.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
James Franklin should be fired.
Well, that's too bad because
They signed him.
would he get a 10-year extension?
I think it was like a 30-year extension. So
So
we'll just be the 3rd best team in the Big Ten.
every year.
Yeah. And there's so many Penn State fans who have no idea what they're talking about. And they think James Franklin is like some godsend gift because he wins 9 games every year. I don't want to win 9 games every year. I want to win a fucking championship.
Have they ever won a national championship?
Penn State?
Yeah.
Like ever?
In the last 40 years? 30 years?
In the last 30 years, they probably have 1 or 2. But it would be at the tail end of that 30 years. Now, there was a year, not saying that they were going to win, but they had a good chance with Saquon Barkley where they got cheated out of the playoffs because they won the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah.
Beat Ohio State. But they put Ohio State in the playoffs over Penn State.
That was the team that if there was ever a Penn State team in the last.
That was the team that was going to
That
do
was
it.
the team.
Yeah.
They had Barkley, who's
So
unbelievable.
if you're okay being, dude, that team had Barkley, it had Mike Gesicki, and it had Allen Robinson on the same offense. With Trace McSorley, who was a great,
Good college quarterback.
right?
Yes. Did Barkley win the Heisman that year?
No,
Who won?
I don't know who won it that year, but it wasn't Barkley.
That was his quads are
Insane. But if you want to be the 3rd best team in your conference every year, sure,
Yeah.
Franklin's great.
yeah, great.
That's fine. You want to get great down and do nothing with it?
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So that's my rant. I'm done.
Okay. Number 1 for me. I went baseball. Do you know?
Mine's the same.
It's really.
My number 1's the same.
you get Red Sox Yankees?
Yeah.
Did you? No way. Yeah, I mean,
How could you not?
How could you not? Especially the best was those early 2000s.
Yeah.
Both teams were loaded.
Well, you want to talk about history, which we've talked about with all of these. There is no rivalry that starts with a more important historic point in sports than the Red Sox giving the Yankees Babe Ruth.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Or was it the other way?
he was on the Red Sox.
And then he went to the Yankees.
And then that kicks off the Yankees, who were already good,
Yeah.
becoming a juggernaut. And then, obviously, the curse of the Bambino, where the Red Sox don't win it till what, like 2005? 2004?
Yep. And they beat the Yankees after they were down 0-3.
Yeah.
Which is one of the greatest,
Gotta be the greatest playoff run, series
comeback
of all time.
Yes.
The significance of it,
Yeah.
the rivalry of it,
Oh my gosh. Unbelievable.
at least greatest MLB moment other than Randy Johnson hitting that bird. It
Yeah.
has gotta be.
Yes.
Yeah.
That rival, I mean, the iconic, Pedro Martinez throwing, what was his name, Zimmerman? One of their coaches who was 70, throwing his asses. I mean, they used to fight
Awesome.
all the time. And it was awesome.
Probably the 2 biggest franchises. I mean, at least the 2 most legendary historic franchises.
Yes.
You got the Dodgers who were huge, but
Yeah.
you got Fenway.
Fenway, I got to get there at least once. Fenway Park, the Green Monster.
Be awesome.
I feel like Boston's probably a cool city. Imagine being a Boston fan. You got the Bruins, who are really good.
Tom Brady and the
Tom Brady,
Patriots.
Patriots, Red Sox.
Yeah. I mean, there you go.
Celtics.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, spoiled.
Probably the best sports city we could talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even the Yankees being in New York, like, just of all cities, like New York is bigger than everything.
Yes.
And then I feel like you've got Boston, which is like a more like hard-nosed, more of a blue-collar city. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like even like the demographics of the two cities plays against each other.
Yeah. And Yankees fans are just so.
You're a douche
ignorant.
if you're a Yankees fan.
They're just so.
Unless you're from New York.
But they love their
Or-
Yankees. They might love their Yankees more than any other like fan loves their team.
Yeah.
Like they
If
are.
you're from New York or your
Yes.
dad's Alex Rodriguez, that's fine. If you're from like Wyoming and you're a Yankees fan,
Right.
you're a douche.
Or like we have friends around here that are Cowboys fans. Why?
No.
Pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny that that's your number one. That was my number one. As
Yeah.
well.
So I got into this wormhole because I was like, how do you get rid of Babe Ruth? Like, this does not make sense. So at the time, Babe Ruth is a pitcher
Yes.
and also is a great batter.
Yes.
But as a pitcher, and he wants to double his salary from like 7,000 to 14,000 or something, because this is like 1920. But also, Babe Ruth wants to play outfield because he's like, hey, we're going to win more games if I'm on the field every day instead of pitching every fourth game or whatever. Also, the owner of the Boston Red Sox at the time had a lot of money sunk into like theater productions in New York, and it wasn't going well. So the Boston Red Sox owner was losing a shit ton of money because he was putting on these plays in New York, and it wasn't going well. So he was like gonna have to sell the franchise. So he sold Babe Ruth for like, at the time it was like $400,000 or something. Like,
You did your research.
yeah, because I was like, why would you do this?
Yeah.
So he goes to New York. New York gets a new stadium shortly after, which is why they call it the house that Ruth built. Because then in the next 15 years, the Yankees win the American League 7 out of the 15 years, and they win 4 World Series in the next 15 years. And Babe Ruth becomes a legend, and the Yankees make so much money, and now they buy their roster for the next 100 years.
And they're not good. That's
They're
the best
horrible
part.
this
Like,
year.
They're the number 1 or 2 like highest paid, and they're like last in the. You know, the Orioles are like one of the lowest.
Yeah,
And
they're
they're
top.
yes.
They're first team to hit 90
That
wins.
just makes it like so much more awesome when
Shout
you
out
know.
O's.
Yeah, those. When you hear that stat,
Oh yeah,
it's
when the Yankees are bad,
everybody loves it.
it's the opposite of Texas football. When the
Right.
Yankees are bad, baseball is good.
Yeah, maybe.
I think.
But
I don't watch baseball. I'm a
I don't
hater.
believe-
I'm a hater.
I don't believe it. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah, gotta be.
yeah.
Gotta be number 1.
How about us agreeing on
Is that the first time that's happened?
for our number 1? I feel like
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah. I have one more thing to plug for Ohio State, Michigan.
Can I just say that? Yeah, go ahead.
Let me look up the year. I have it written down. In 2005, I think, ESPN put out a list of the greatest sports rivalries in all of North America, and Ohio State, Michigan was number 1.
Really? In 2000 what?
I think it was 2005. I didn't write down the year.
Okay.
But ESPN's list.
I bet now it's maybe 9 or 10
That's fine.
or 8.
That's fine.
Or
I just
seven.
wanted to plug that.
Oh, yeah, gonna plug it. You know what I had? I almost had I had Army and Navy written down, because that is. But I'm like,
That'd be a
Would you-
sweet game to go to.
would you call that a rivalry?
Well, also Navy beats the shit out of them most of the time.
Yes. So that was
they're-
A, and B. It's like
They're insignificant teams.
whoever wins, America wins.
Right.
Right? It's like America. You know what I mean?
Right. It's not like a civil war's happening.
Right. It's like
But also, it's not like you've got usually 6 and 7 Army or 6 and 7 Navy versus 2 and 10 Army. Like
yes. So
triple option though. I love watching
hard to
triple
stop.
option.
It's hard to stop.
I love
You
watching.
gotta practice a lot for it. Yeah. So good list. Good.
I'm glad we can agree on something finally.
Finally. What do we got?
So we need to figure out what's going on with Bigfoot. I need to pick up some people on the waiver wire on my fantasy team.
We got to figure out our guest. that we keep talking about.
It's happening at some point.
At some point, we're gonna get some information out of somebody. Yeah. Oh, I gotta plug something. Did you notice this sign here?
Is that mine? Did you take it from my house?
I stole it.
When we came around, I was like, man, that light's not usually on. Did you put your save the date in my cheese drawer also?
I did not do that.
Yeah, it was on the fridge, and it ended up in my cheese drawer in my fridge.
I did not do that. No, that's hilarious.
Fuck you, I'm taking this
Dude,
back.
but
It's been right here.
so we're sitting on the couch. There's like me and Copus and Travis, and I'm like, "You think Nick would notice if I stole that sign?" And they're like, "You know what you should do? You should steal it and put it up on your podcast and see if he notices."
That's awesome.
And you didn't notice, but yeah,
I was like, man, that's cool.
Were you like, I have that exact same one?
Didn't even register it. Didn't even.
That's awesome. But yeah, they were like, see if he notices. It's like, he ain't gonna notice.
No.
He won't even notice it's gone out of the basement.
I did notice it was gone.
Yeah. It's like, so yeah, I guess you can have that back. You
Okay.
can buy it from me.
$20?
Yeah, just Venmo me.
Alright.
Yeah. But thanks for tuning in.
Episode 6?
Episode 6. Or
Whatever.
6.
As the amigos say.
6. Yeah.
We'll see you later.
See you later.
See what the next topic is.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a guest. We don't know. This is the podcast about whatever we want it to be about, so deal with it.
It's not your podcast. All right.
All right?
I was good. I feel like I was.
It's definitely
some
not.
attitude.
It's not theirs.
No.
We've been a little sassy today, I think.
I am very tired and cranky because of being up all the time.
Because of the baby.
And I was mean at practice today. I was mean.
Give it to him.
But yeah, I got been cranky. So.
All right, you heard it there. Tony's cranky.